Just skip the turkey. Here now with reaction is columnist Monica Crowley, Fox News contributor Lara Trump, and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Monica, are they that out of touch that they don't understand that when people see their lives changing, especially how far their money goes, it actually does matter? Do they think they can deflect their way out of this for real?
Well, you know, Pete, they have desperately tried to define inflation and also try to minimize it. We've heard from the president, the vice president, Jen Psaki. We've heard from the chair of the Federal Reserve, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, all for months calling inflation transitory. Don't worry so much. It's going to be temporary. Well, the Fed just today put out a statement saying inflation might not be all that transitory, and we stand ready, perhaps sooner rather than later, to actually deal with it. Look, they don't really care that Americans are being squeezed by higher prices because it's all being done, Pete, in the name of the fundamental transformation of the nation. So they have a broader ideological agenda here to remake the economy, re-engineer the relationship between the government, the individual, and the economy. So if they have to break a few eggs, if Americans have to forego their turkey and have a hot dog tomorrow instead, well, for them, it's actually worth it because their agenda is much more long range and long term. And it doesn't seem to be bothering Joe Biden, who is sitting now in a billionaire's compound on Nantucket.
Yes, I mean, let them eat tofu turkey and enjoy it. Laura, but it seems to be what the left always does, right? They tell us to lower expectations, get used to dealing with less. I mean, we're doing bigger, better things, more important things, passing trillion-dollar bills and fighting the climate. I mean, how dare you quibble over, a couple of dollars?
Yeah, well, it would be interesting if it just was the turkey. I mean, you heard Jen Psaki there say, well, it's the turkey. It's about $1 more for 20 pounds. It's actually not. It's a lot more than that. But it's everything, Pete. Everything costs more now. So it's not just the turkey. And to piggyback off of something that Monica just said there, she was spot on. They have told us from the beginning that they want to fundamentally transform America. Well, how do you do that? You have to change America from the inside out. You have to take away our traditions. So it might seem a little funny and a little ridiculous. Oh, don't have a turkey, then people won't come over. Where last year, remember, they didn't even want us to get together. So I guess we're lucky they're letting us have Thanksgiving
That's true.
this year.
We should thank them.
At really the core of this, they want to divide Americans up. They don't want us to have any common ground. They don't want us to have any shared traditions like Thanksgiving. A lot of places last month actually did away with Halloween because they wanted to be inclusive of the people that didn't celebrate Halloween. We know that's a very, very small group of people. Halloween is a great occasion for the kids to get candy and dress up. But it all goes to fundamentally transforming this country. And the way you do that is you make sure that we have no commonality whatsoever, no traditions as Americans whatsoever. You start chipping away at that. And they don't care that Thanksgiving costs a lot more, whether you're driving to somebody's house this year, paying for all that food on the table. They don't care. Joe Biden is certainly very happy right now where he is for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do take issue with the fact that Halloween trick-or-treating now happens during the day. Back in the day, it happened at night. It was supposed to be spooky, a little risky. Now it's all during the day. But I digress. Miranda, I will say, when it comes to the media, when you see the clips, skip the turkey. The inflation's not all that big of a deal. Make sure you have COVID tests for your attendees at your Thanksgiving. They seem to go to no end to want to cover up. And we can do the contrast of what was done to Laura's father. But how far can they go to attempt to make things that are glaring and real right in front of our face seem like they're not a big deal?
You're so right. Honestly, it is like a giant gaslighting operation, and it comes from the media, and it comes from the White House, and it comes from Joe Biden himself. And it's not working. You just look at the polls, you see that Americans are worried about the economy, they're worried about inflation, they're worried about their hip pocket, they're worried about gas prices, they're worried about the direction that the country is going in, and they blame Joe Biden. They say, he pretended that he was going to heal the divisions in the country, that was why a lot of people voted for him, and he hasn't done it. You just look at the polls, and they're going down the tubes really fast. And yet Joe Biden doesn't seem to care. I mean, the optics are pretty bad of his going off for 5 days for a holiday in one of the most exclusive resort islands in the world, at the $30 million compound of a billionaire. But he doesn't care. I mean, this is a time when the economy is reeling from what are really self-inflicted crises. He's allowed to go on a holiday, but he just, this is who he is. I mean, he's always been really a man who, he and his family live a life of luxury and immense privilege, unimaginable to most Americans. And I think that they're starting to realise this. And if the Democrats think that they're going to run in 2022 just on Trump derangement syndrome, they're going to get a pretty sad shock, because Donald Trump in polls already is beating Joe Biden by as much as 10 points.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, when you build your entire career and your entire family's wealth on government service, you create that barrier buffer of actually interacting with real people and how it impacts their lives. Monica, Lara, and Miranda, happy Thanksgiving to all three of you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Same to you.
You too,
Appreciate
Pete.
it.